it was supposed to do great things, but I also read the reviews. So the advertisement for it and, trying to get you to purchase it and use it was very different from the reviews. So the people that had actually tried to download it and use it had a lot of different things to say other than all the good, what it could do and what it couldn't do. So I would always advise you, no matter what you are using or thinking about purchasing or downloading, that you read the reviews and do a little research before you tie yourself in, because there's always fine print, as you all I'm sure have learned over the years, and you don't want to get yourself into something that you can't get out of easily. So always do your research and see if it has reviews. What if people that have tried it, what are they saying about it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one is, can everybody see it yet? Is it on the screen yet?
Yes.
Okay. Is free pick. Okay, so free pick, the image on your left, I just searched like a group of kids, and so it shows you a lot of pictures. And then at the bottom, I don't know if you can kind of see it's playing. I know it's kind of like circling on my side, but it's moving. It's a video. So they do have pictures and videos on here that you can get for free. The video clips are usually like less than a minute. And most of them don't have sound. So, but this is like a good thing if you were having like a reflection time or something and just wanted something peaceful on your screen, you could put something up. There are tons of videos with people actually doing stuff too in them. Tons of selections of pictures. You can log in for the free pick using your Google email, a Facebook, or just a regular email and creating a password that way. The free plan allows you to download 10 things a day, so that whether that's a video or a picture. And the premium plan is the cost that you see there is $24 a month or $144 a year. And I know Glenna was just talking about how you kind of have to read the fine print. So when you go to all these free picture or images or video places, you do need to read their fine print and what's required for you to be able to share or use their video images. So free pick, you are allowed to use the images for free as long as you give attribution to the picture. So as you can see under the pictures over there and next to the video, I have the reference to the picture and the video, so that you're like giving credit to the people that actually submitted the pictures or the videos. Now, if you pay for the plan, then you actually don't have to do that. You actually don't have to give attribution. But if you use it as the free plan, you do. So just beware to read the fine print for all of the stuff, any of the sites that you go to, and understand how to use it appropriately. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to talk about Unsplash. It is free. There are very, very many photos to choose from. The photos you can use in your training materials can do one of two things. They can make your training better or not. So always remember that too. You see the photo on the left has kind of got the sun glare, and it's kind of not the best, crispest photo that you see. There's several, well, quite a few photos like that maybe not in focus, that are kind of blurry, fuzzy, but they do have quality photos. You can see the one on the right is very crisp. You can see the detail in that. But let's see, the photos that are quality on this website, you do have to pay for. There are very many that are free that you don't have to pay for, but the better ones aren't free. So just remember that when you're looking, everything may not be free, even though they're saying, free photos to choose from. They do have them, but you do have to pay for them. And one of the reasons the photos may be blurry and not as in focus is that you can upload your own photos onto Unsplash for other people to use. So if you have some that you think are just the best photos and you want other people to have access to use them, that's always an option. You can upload your photos on Unsplash. But always remember, when you're choosing photos, to choose quality photos that get the point across that you're trying to make. You want people to understand and be able to see what the picture represents.
Okay. So I'll give it a second, make sure everybody's got the slide. Okay, so the next one is Nappy. Okay, so Nappy is a website where they offer free photos that are for diverse photos. So they have people that have a black or brown colored skin, and they have Creative Commons, so it allows you to reuse these pictures free, personally or commercially. You can also share or make changes to the images, but they cannot be used. Their fine print is going to tell you that they cannot be used to degrade, and they cannot be resold. So you can't take an image from theirs and use it to sell in any kind of way. The pictures have, like the ones on the screen, I kind of just try to get a few with kids in it because we deal a lot with kids, and I thought, you know, they're always cute, so that's great. But they also have, like, on the lower right hand side of your screen, they do have just images where people might just have their hands in there and they're just a different color, or you know, doing different activities and that kind of thing. So not necessarily always the whole picture. So you can search, like I said, just about any kind of activity on this website as well, and get some pictures with some diverse people in it. So it's a great, I loved it. It was a great website. I had a lot of cute pictures, and it actually does it does feature some different pictures that you pay for, but they're usually like another picture place advertising on Nappy site, trying to get you to buy their photos instead of Nappy. So just be aware. Usually you can tell that they're kind of highlighted differently on that website to know which ones are not the free ones. So anybody have any questions so far about any of them?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting over COVID.
That's fine.
You said that for Nappy, you couldn't sell them. Does that mean if you are using them in a training course and you're charging for the training course, can you use them?
That's a good question. That might actually take a little bit more exploring through their fine print. What I read just said not for resale. So I don't know for sure if, like, you're paying for a training and one of their pictures is in it, if that is necessarily reselling the picture. But it might be something more in detail in there. I took it as, I'm not going to be able to take this image and resell it on my website for some, you know, as an image. So, like, I'm not going to be able to, like, take one of their pictures and go over to one of the other sites and submit it as my photo and sell it. So, that's the way I took it, not as it's in a presentation for educational purposes. So,
Thank you.
but good question. And that's why it's important when you use stuff, even though it says free, just check what the guidelines are. How do you have to use it for it to be free and legal?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any questions so far? Okay, we'll go on to the next one then.
Sharon added in chat some of the answers and questions from the website of Nappy that may answer questions a little bit better. So if you all would take a look at that. Okay, next we're going to talk about Pexels. I signed in with my Google account, so you would have to have a Google account to sign in to access. There's a lot of free photos on a variety of topics. I mean, I typed in several different phrases and topics, and they had tons of pictures for each one. But most of the pictures were like these two that I put on the screen, not very clear, blurry. They had a lot to choose from, but not what I would call a lot of high quality pictures. They're not the best quality. You could probably find some that you could use in trainings. That just depends on what you're training on and what you're trying to show on the screen. Do you all have trouble finding stuff for trainings, finding pictures that you use? Or back in the day, you use clip art was like the biggest thing going. And now there's so many things to choose from.
I get most of mine from Canva.
I'm sorry.
From Canva.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got a lot to choose from too. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So before I click to the next screen, we're going to get ready to, I want you to get your sharp eyes on, because we're going to have a little activity, kind of like, you know, you used to get those, little magazines where you'd have to find the hidden stuff in them. So we're kind of look for some hidden stuff. So we're going to look at these pictures that I'm about to put up on the screen. We're going to start with, there's going to be 3 pictures, but we're going to start with picture 1. And you're feel free to like type in the chat or come off mute if you would like to. And I want you to see if you can find what's wrong with the pictures. So let me switch to the screen. So the picture with woman number 1, can anybody tell me what they see wrong with this picture? Her fingers. Okay. She's not holding the umbrella. Okay. The umbrella's on the wrong side. Okay. Great. So you are correct. The fingers are kind of a little weird. And she's holding the umbrella's handle, but the umbrella is actually on the other shoulder, so it doesn't really match up with that. So very good. Okay, so now if you're looking at woman number 2, what do you think is wrong with the picture, woman number 2? Extra hand. Okay. Umbrella ribs don't line up. Okay.
Body's weird.
Her body, umbrella ribs don't line up. Okay. Extra hand. Did somebody say something? Okay, so you're right. The lining and the little, I guess you are calling them the ribs, the little on the umbrella are kind of all over the place. Yeah, her hands also here in this picture are a little strange. Also, if you look closely, her face is a little distorted. So it doesn't all line up. And so if you were to zoom in on this picture, which I can't do because of it, I'm just sharing my screen, but if you were to zoom in, you can tell drastically the distortion of her face. So Julie said it's not writing in front of her. Okay, yeah. And the rain direction splashes don't look like they go together. Oh, okay. That's a good call. I had actually not paid attention to that part of it. So yes. Okay. So how about woman number 3? Eyes are off. Not raining on her hand. She looks like AI. Yeah. Okay. Blurry. Okay. So lots of different things going on too here. If you do zoom in on this picture, you'll notice that around her neckline, like her shirt actually kind of ends, but then the turtleneck part of it still starts up again. So it's a little strange. Something weird about her arm, probably so. So anyway, these are some examples of bad pictures that you wouldn't use, but that you get searching sometimes. Okay, so somebody mentioned AI, and you're right. So these pictures actually came from the Bing AI generator. And I'm going to click over here to the next screen. So the Bing AI generator, that the first picture, the first group of women that I searched, I actually searched in the search engine. I put woman with an umbrella in the rain waving her hand, and so those were the images that I got pulled up, and so they were very distorted, as you can see. So in these three pictures, I searched a cat with claws in the grass with the sun shining. And if you find something wrong with these pictures, you may, but I couldn't find any like very obvious things. So I thought they were safe pictures that I could share, that I could have put in a training or something, and felt comfortable that there wasn't anything major wrong with the picture. So they were good pictures, you know. So the Bing AI generator is free for everyone that has a Microsoft account.
Hold on a second.
And you do need Windows 10 or 11 to be able to support the AI generator. And you can just go in there and, you know, think of the wildest thing you want to have a picture of, and it will create something for you. And I'm going to be honest, I can't promise that it's going to recreate something fabulous, because as you can see, it did not want to have a woman standing in the rain waving at us. So that is not always, it's not always going to have the best pictures, but it does actually have some good pictures. So yes, the cat's claws can be kind of big in the middle picture. Yes, kind of ferocious. I wondered if it would actually show me a line, and it didn't show me a line since I put claws, but I was kind of impressed that it didn't pull up lines. Great tool to use, but this is one that you really do have to be cautious about selecting your photos. And when you select them, I encourage you to because they are smaller whenever you first go into the search. I encourage you to select the picture that you're thinking about and make sure you enlarge it, because that's when I could see all of the distortion. And if you have to change the sizing while you're putting it in a presentation, that stuff may start popping out more depending on how big it has to be, or if it's going to be enlarged on a large screen or something like that. So that's just something to be careful of when you're using this Bing AI generator.
April, this made me be very careful about pictures, because if I'm reading something, sometimes I will just glance over the pictures and focus more on what I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm looking to make sure the pictures other people are using are
Yeah.
not distorted, like especially the ones with the women with the
And the first picture where she's on the opposite side, if you were just to quickly glance at that, you might not notice it, but if you're sharing a presentation and you're sitting on a screen for several minutes, somebody might go, oh, that's not a very good picture. You might start to recognize it. So
but on the positive side too, if you glance over it and put it in your training and somebody mentions it, you can always say, aha, great, you caught it. I put this in to see if anybody would notice.
Right. Okay. Anybody have any questions about this Bing AI generator? Okay.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Shot Stash. They had several different packages, they called them, that you could choose from. The 5 images had a lot of photos, and they're categorized, very neat. You can find what you're looking for, very easy. $49 a month, and you get 5 free images, and that's per month. And then for the 3 images is a month-to-month subscription. You just pay $29 a month, and you get free images, and you can cancel it at any time with no commitment. But you'll see in the middle that 10 images is if you can do a free trial, and if you do not cancel within the free trial time, you are committed for a year at $29 a month, and you get 10 free images. So if you do cancel during the free trial period, a cancellation fee may apply. So make sure you read the fine print of all of these things before you get in too deep, before you're committed for a year, let's say. So you get 10 photos or 2 music tracks. So you can do that. And then with the 3 images, the month-to-month subscription, you're not committed and you can get out at any time. So make sure you choose wisely to what you need, you know, if you're looking, because once you commit to the 10 images, it's $29 a month for 12 months, no matter if you use it or not, or change your mind, or however you can't get out of it except during the trial period. And I don't know how you all are with trial periods, but I never remember when the trial period is over until I'm charged for the next month coming up. So have any of you all tried any, purchased any of these images that you can use either monthly or committed to for a year, or just buy the images as you need them? Anybody tried that?
No.
No, don't look like anybody has.
Adobe Creative Cloud is similar in pricing, and they generally have really good images. We get access to the university, but that's also something you can purchase. Adobe stock.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Miss Julie. Okay.
Emily says she never commits to pay monthly. I know, when all you like, we are showing you all the great free ones. Like, you know, they have so many more options. Why would you choose? You know, I don't know. I mean, I understand, like, if you had like if you were at a training agency and you use tons and tons of images, since some of the free ones actually do limit on how many downloads you can get at a time or something, but I agree.
And if you had many people using, using the
Right.
account, it would be well worth it.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So somebody mentioned earlier, Canva. So we're going to cover Canva 2 today. I just want to mention first that Canva is what I'm using to do our presentation on today. So you can actually use it for more than just photos. You can use it for other projects, kind of like we're using it instead of PowerPoint. We're doing our presentation here on Canva. The photos that are in the circles, I actually pulled from Canva, and I just searched camera, and I came up with all these different images that included a camera. And stuck them in there. You can do photos through Canva. They also have videos. They have stickers. So like the little hearts and the little splashes or diamonds or whatever, those are just stickers throughout this presentation. And so I actually just selected a like a project for a presentation, and it had all different kinds of slides that went along the same kind of theme. But you can actually just go in and like click stuff out of it too. So, or add and change different things to do that. You can upload your own photos within Canva. So if you did get a photo from one of the other sites and you wanted to put it on your Canva presentation, you can do that too. You don't just have to use their photos. So there is Canva free. And so if you have the free account, it does limit you to what you have access to. So you may not have as many themes or as many photos as the paid account. They have Canva Pro that's for individuals. There's also a free education account. So if you are a teacher or you sign up through a school district, they can get a free account, and they're also allowed access to more than just the free Canva account is. So it's, it's a nice little way to get pictures, but it's also a nice place to do some projects and other kind of stuff too. I think a lot of people in the education field actually use Canva and do a lot of presentations, flyers, posters. They do all that kind of stuff too on there. So anybody have any questions about? Julie says Canva is awesome. Julie is a Canva user. She does definitely take advantage of Canva. So, and you can, like, we have an educational account between all of us that Julie did set up, and we share things. And so like today, Glenna and I are doing this trainer connection project together. So I started working on the slides that I was working on, and I just had to share the presentation with Glenna, and then she was able to have access and go in there and do all her stuff. So it is a great way to like work on something with somebody else too, because you can both have access and work on it together and see all the changes that are being made.
Bonnie says that she has a team account and loves it. And Emily said it's the best if you can train with a team.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I love that we could share it. I loved that I could go in, and then I just invited Glenna to it, added her to the presentation, and she was able to go in and make adjustments and do everything too. So, kind of
And there's
gives you
a lot of templates to choose from too. I mean, anything could-
yeah, just about any style.
Yeah.
So, hey, great.
And now, as Julie had mentioned earlier, we'll talk about Adobe. It has 10 images or 1 video a month is well, I can't talk, $29.99 a month, and you get 10 free stock images. Or you can buy the 750 images or 25 videos a month for $199.99 a month. I think that's a year. Or no, it might be a month for 10 free stock images. No, it is a month, $199.99 a month. The plans are based, they're priced for value. You know, the more you use, you get access to the videos and the images. And they also have credit packs that is similar to a pay as you go. And they can be used for any of the content on the Adobe site. And it's 2 credits for a video and 1 credit for the stock images. But I typed in training when I was searching, and 8,371,883 images were available. So there is a lot, and that was just with the word training. So there is, and it had pictures, everything from a business training to dog training and everything in between. So there is a lot to choose from. Any topic that you are training on, I'm sure you'd be able to find something, you know, that you could use in your training. Has anybody used Adobe besides Julie? I know she said she already had.
I used it briefly, working on our FET 380 stuff. And because Dawn kind of introduced me and, you know, let me know that since we have access to it, and it was really simple. Like you said, you just search and there's a gazillion different images that come up. I did ask her while I was doing it, because I used an image within the training that we were working on, if I had to reference it. And I think because you paid for it, you don't have to like do all the referencing and stuff, if I was correct. So, but it's one of those things that you definitely need to read the fine print again before you use somebody's picture. Okay. So take your own photos. So I have added some photos that Glenna and I have. You'll see some lovely familiar faces. Right in the center is all the training coaches when we had our FET in Berea last year. It was our first actually time together since COVID. So everybody was all cheerful and happy. We got to actually get out and see people. So I shared that picture. And then on your left, that's Glenna's son, Chad. And then on the right, that's my son in the middle and my 2 nieces on the side at Christmas. So I just wanted to share some personal photos. It is a great way to, if you have your own photos, or if you have some that you've taken in a training that you want to share, or if you have some that you've taken in a classroom and you want to share examples, if you're doing a training on how to do classroom design or something like that, and you want to use your own examples, it's a great way to share. Just want to remind you that if you do use your own photos and there's actually people in the pictures, make sure that you get photo consent to use those pictures, especially if people are minors. You need parental consent to use a minor's picture when you're sharing it with anything. And that goes even if you're using stuff on social media for advertisement, or just within your own group website or something. Just make sure that you have photo consent, because you don't want to have any problems with sharing people's kids. I know that's kind of a sensitive subject sometimes. So anybody have any questions about any of these free photo opportunities? I know we've covered a lot. I know we didn't share specific web addresses, but most of them you can find pretty easy just by Googling the name, like Free Pick or Nappy or Adobe, and it'll take you right to them. So any questions about using photos or any of the sites?
And keep in mind, for everything we showed and addressed, there's many more free places and paid places available. This is just the tip of the iceberg, as they say.
Yes.
I was just going to mention,
Yeah.
we talked about Adobe stock. Adobe has come out with something like Canva now that's called Adobe Express, which is similar to Canva. Honestly, I know how to use the Photoshop and the Illustrator, but the Canva is just so much quicker and easier. And you still get great things. The other thing about Canva is you can resize things for multiple uses, which I like. So you can make a flyer, but then resize it for social media in another size with one click. And so for me, it's like Photoshop has great features if you need them, but if you don't, like Canva is so much better for that reason too. Because if you're marketing and training, you might market it on social media and you might make a flyer to hand out, and like you can scale things really easily once they're designed.
Yep. Great. Thanks, Julie. I know we did kind of steal some of these ideas from Julie's presentation on FET. I think it was the part 1 of 380 that she mentions all of these. And so I know some of you won't take 380 because you're not going to do online training, and that is how to do online training. But she mentions a lot of these to use if you're doing online training. But we thought it might be great to share with everybody, because even if you're just doing a face-to-face presentation, you often use photos when you're presenting, because a lot of people still do the PowerPoint or Canva presentation as well. So this would be a great way for them to add photos to their face-to-face presentations as well, or online. So thanks, Julie, for inspiring us to seek all the answers out on all these. Okay, great. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. It was great to have everybody on today. I'm glad you all got to come.
Thank you all.